Hi everyone, in today's video I'm going to show you how to do the provisional cast on with a short tip needle with about 10-inch or 12-inch cord and an extra long cord with no needles, but I just put stoppers on it to hold your stitches. So let's get right into it. We're going to start this off by creating a slip knot and placing it on the spare cable. And don't snug this up too tight because you want to be able to slide it over the base of your cable here. And then we're just going to put the other tip on this so that the stitches don't fall off. Okay, and we're ready to go. So what you're going to do is you're going to hold the tail in this hand, in your right hand, and the working yarn in your left hand. I'm just going to take your working needle, and how you're going to start is you're going to go, this knot is not going to count as a stitch, so we're going to go, this is the first stitch, then you're going to go under the needle and in between here, grab that yarn, pull it onto your needle, and so now you have 1, 2, see if you can see that, 1, 2 stitches on the top needle and 1, 2 stitches on the bottom needle or on the cable. So we're going to show that again. We're going to wrap the yarn. That's 1 stitch, and I like to just kind of hold it with my finger so it doesn't slide off. And you're going to go under, in between, grab the yarn and over. So there you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So there you go. And we're just going to keep doing that for whatever amount of stitches is required in the pattern, and this goes quite quick. Sorry, my cable's making a racket there. So again, yarn over, in between, underneath the cable, grab the yarn, pull it up onto your needle. And then I'm going to finish this and I'm going to show you how to attach this to work in the round. Okay, so I've cast on an even number of stitches here, and the last stitch is going to be, you've gone under, and so you're just going to make sure that this stitch stays on your spare cable, because that'll be the stitch, in this case 96th stitch. So now I'm just going to make sure that the cable is not twisted, and so what I like to do is just say the green cable stays on the outside of my work all the way around, and then what you're going to do is you're just going to scooch these stitches up onto your working needle. This is a little bit fiddly, but that's okay, because then you're going to have less work picking up after. And so now we're going to begin. In this case, I'm making a beanie, so I'm going to join to work in the round. Okay, so my first row is just going to be a knit row. So what I'm going to do is just hold this stitch here. Just don't worry too much about the cable needle. You can just let the spare cable dangle and just go into your first stitch and knit the stitch. And I like to pull this one pretty snug so that there's not a big gap at the beginning of your work. And then you're just going to keep knitting. And this first row is a little cumbersome because of all the stitches, and you have to just be careful that the stitches don't jump over on your, because squished them up so much there. I'll show you when it happens. So you just continue knitting this way all the way around, and as you're knitting, the stitch is staying on the bottom cable, and those are the stitches that you're going to pick up for the second half of your beanie. So I'm just going to work all the way around, and then I'm going to show you what that looks like. Now that I've reached the end of my round, you can see there's the last stitch, and try not to pull that too much, but you can ease the tension after you've picked up. So now what you do, you just join to work in the round. I like to slip a marker just so I know where that round is going to begin, and then I just continue working in the round. And I'm going to just continue going for about an inch here, and then I'm going to show you how to pick up that provisional cast on. Okay, so I'll meet you back there. Okay, so I've worked a couple rounds here, and so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to swap out my needles here so I can show you what to do when you pick up the provisional cast on. Just going to put these on these chips so that stitches don't fall off. And normally I would have knit quite a bit of my beanie, but you know, sometimes you get excited and you want to see what that would look like. And also, if you've never done this, it could be a good idea just to swap out put your needle tips on here and work this part of the beanie first, just so that you know the join is nice here. So I'm going to show you how to do that next. Okay, so I've attached another set of needles to my cord here, and I'm just going to work the second side using the magic loop technique. So what you're going to do is you've turned your work around, and now you're going to work on your spare. You're going to work here on your spare cable. So just going to get that set up, and then we'll be ready to go. This is actually the worst part because it's a little bit fiddly. So I'm just going to pull some of this out here, and I'm not going to work the entire row. And so what you need to do now is grab your second color. Okay, so now that we're all set up, it's kind of hard to do when you've got the little short needle underneath, but just for this demonstration, I just didn't want to swap it out. So this is that last stitch. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to start there. We're going to insert our needle as if to knit, and we're just going to knit that stitch, and just hang on to that yarn tail bit because you'll have to tighten it after. And then every other stitch is going to be oriented the wrong way, so you're going to have to knit into the back loop because we're knitting an entire round here. I like to knit around before I change color. Oops, I'm not purling. The beanie is in a purl, and so then you would just knit and purl. Pardon me, no purl. Knit all around, but knit into the back loop. If you can see what I'm doing here. So basically you just have to reorient all these stitches because they're going to be oriented wrong. So I'm going to do that, go all the way around, and I'm going to show you what that looks like. So again, just knit regular, and the other one knit through the back loop. Okay, so now I've knit an entire row just to reorient the legs of those stitches. So, and you get to the last stitch, which was your slip knot. So you can just take that off your needle and just tuck it to the back. Grab yourself another stitch marker, and this will indicate the beginning of that round. You can just undo that slip knot. I like to work another round and then I remove it, but you could remove it right away. And that's it. You're joined and ready to go. And this is what it looks like once you're done. And you would just tighten up those tails, and that's it. I'm working in rib here, so it is a half a stitch off, but that's where the fold is going to be. So you will not even notice that, and once you adjust the tension, it looks really great. So I hope this helps you.